Falling Over the Words. Hello and welcome to episode 5 of Falling Over the Words, the only podcast featuring me. I'm actually amazed that I made it to 5 episodes of this. I genuinely thought I'd get to one episode and go, you know, I'm bored already. I can't think of anything to talk about. And I have had issues with it. I've spent the whole week, as I spoke about last week, struggling to think of anything to talk about. I mean, I've got a list of things that I want to talk about, but I want to do it in the right way at the right time. So it's just thinking of ideas till I get to those times. But then walking around this week, and I discovered, amazingly, that I can now stream on my iPad or on my phone via Twitch, and that blew my mind. So I've started a little gaming channel as well as this, which, if you're interested, is Falling Over the Words Gaming. Over on Twitch. You've got the YouTube video, which I'm hopefully going to put the videos, or the VODs as they call it, on there, and then when I get better at it, and probably a bit of better equipment as well, because this laptop is very slow and very old. I'll do some edited versions of it, get the highlights down, doing a bit of research this week as well, finding out I can stream directly from my Xbox, so I may try some of that later on as well. I've got some in real life stuff with the Pocket Sports cricket game, which the first video went up yesterday, and hopefully going to record the second game today. That one's a bit weird for me because it's me just trying to commentate on some dice rolls, which I am enjoying, but I also feel like a bit of a plum while I'm doing said dice rolls, which is just, it's a bit weird. I'm not gonna lie. Trying to come up with new ways that a dice has hit a ball around around a ground. God, the cricket fans will absolutely murder me for that one. But yeah, so this week I've been dabbling into the world of streaming and seeing what that has to offer. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been having an absolute blast doing it. And half the time, a bit like the podcast, there's no one really watching it. It's just me just talking to a screen but it's about what's happening on the screen, and that makes it a bit more natural. But then it did get me thinking, and I was like, what am I doing? I'm doing a podcast, I'm doing streaming, and no one's watching, and is there any point in doing it? I got a bit bummed out by it in the end. And I was like, but I'm not doing this for people to watch. I'm doing it because I find it therapeutic. And but yeah, it did get me thinking quite a lot about, do I keep doing this? Do I just stop being a bit down? Because let's face it, having a podcast with the a million podcasts over there, and it's just another drop in a massive ocean. Do I do it? And is there any point in doing it, or is it just a waste of time where I'm sitting down with my wife and going, oh, I fancy doing this, but for this I'm going to need this equipment, or I'm going to need this equipment, and I'll give the woman a bloody juice. She's very patient, and she's like, yeah, crack on, you do you, because it's probably the fact that it's giving me quite an out of her hair. But yeah, so I did have a bit of, what's the point? More so with the podcast, I think, than the streaming, because I think the streaming, I'm still getting something out of it. I'm still doing something fun. But it came down to, I look forward to doing this every week. Every Tuesday morning, I wake up, I set my gear up to where I've actually put a desk in our bedroom now. Bless her heart. I've taken out my chest of drawers. I'm living out of a bin bag at the moment until we get some storage boxes, because it's not the biggest room. Yes, I'm living out of a bin bag till we get some storage boxes for under the bed. I've set a desk up, I've put our TV on there, I've got all of my equipment, and I punched a laptop, and that's mine. All of our equipment, and like, oh, because she's amazing and she homeschools the kids, and she does a lot of printing and binding and laminating. I was like, oh, well, you can share the desk space, so when I'm not using it, you can use it. To where she's probably very rightly gone, you're always going to be at your desk doing something. And so yeah, anyway, on from that rambling tangent, it's got to the point of, I think I'm going to keep doing it because I really enjoy this. As I said last week in the bit more of the downer, depressing episode. I think a good episode, and I was quite proud of that one. But as I said in that, this is very therapeutic. I'm just sitting there, I'm talking my nonsense, and there's not really a care in the world. I'm just doing it. I'm having fun. And when people do listen to it, and if people listen to it, like I've had some friends and family listen, feedback is generally fairly good. It's not everyone's cup of tea, of course it isn't. People like podcasts, we're the point. And then that got me to another line of thinking, and I was like, okay, I want to keep doing the podcast. I want to keep enjoying this. But what is the podcast? Is it going to be on a set or a set series of topics? Am I going to go, oh, let's go down the route of, I'm going to discuss funny videos all the time? No, that's been done a million times. That isn't me. Is it going to be a ranty podcast where I rant about things happening in the world? No, that isn't me. There will be episodes about that, and there's actually one lined up that I may have alluded to. We're talking about my wife there, and the world of homeschooling. I've got quite a ranty one there for both sides, but I need to do that in the correct way. So there will be ranty things on there. Will it be about games? Possibly, probably. I'll talk about games that I'm excited about, or games I've been playing, or games that have been going up. I think the point of the podcast is it's whatever takes my fancy that week. So it could be a rant. It could be about a funny topic I've been thinking about. I don't want to narrow it down into a tunnel and say this is the direction I'm going. I cannot turn off. I want it to encompass everything. Is that going to turn people off? Probably. Probably people are set on their podcasts and they listen to them because they like that topic, they like that genre, and you see that in loads of them. Some of the most popular ones they talk about could be food, could be gaming, could be role-playing games, it could be the white women talking about murder mysteries that you always hear here. So yeah, I'm excited about what's gonna come with the channel. And speaking of that, if you can't tell, so over on Twitch it's Falling Over the Words Gaming, and if you look, I've been playing a lot of Path of Titans. I like that game. I think it's the Isle but good. And that's not to say the Isle's a bad game, but the Isle's a hardcore game. Whereas Path of Titans is just a bit easier. It's a bit more chill. It doesn't matter if you get into a fight and die, because your dinosaur is still there. You don't have to have a whole new one. I've had my cricket game going. I'm a huge cricket fan, which is bad to admit when you're English, because we're terrible at the moment. So yeah, I've got the cricket dice game going. As I say, I've just found out that I can stream directly from my Xbox, because I've been a bit panicking, like, what do I do with gaming now? Because when gaming stream started and Let's Play started, I talked about in the first episode, everything was done on a computer. If you wanted to capture an Xbox, you needed the capture card. Now my laptop is probably from the 1820s. It does a job for this, and it lets me upload, it lets me manage streams. This is by far not a gaming computer, but I don't have a grand enough spare to get a gaming kit to play the game. So finding out I can play on the Xbox, that opens up a whole new load of avenues for games that I can put on there. Of course, Cricket 24 is going to be on there. I love games like Euro Truck Simulator, which I would love to play and do a career on that. It's a fantastic game. It's one of those games you can just whack on, drive, put a podcast on, and just spend hours in it. Again, unfortunately, it's not on any console. And to stream that, I need a better computer. But I did buy a steering wheel a while back when I got excited about Forza Motorsport coming out. Turns out the game is, well, it's crap. People get enjoyment out of it, and I'm not going to stop anyone enjoying a game. personally for me, it's not for me. But there are games like Project Cars 2 that I enjoy that I know a lot of people don't enjoy. There's the original, what is it called? Assetto Corsa, the original I've got on there. A bit more hardcore, and I enjoy the F1 games. So hopefully I'm going to do some series of me learning how to drive with a steering wheel. I'm not good at racing games. I enjoy them to the fully. I use all of the assists. I've always got a traction control on. I've always got the ABS on. So hopefully I'll have a series of games of me learning to drive without those. And so I think that's the future of the channel going forward. That every week I'm going to have a podcast every Tuesday. Always, hopefully, at 2 p.m. It will go live. Spotify and YouTube are not perfect things. I'm a married man with 4 kids. I lost count of my kids then, and so life is always going to get in the way. And more important things, I work full time as well. This is not a job I have to pay, so hopefully I'm going to figure out a schedule where I can keep doing this and hopefully grow this. That is what I want. I want to grow this. I'd quite like to grow this. Have a community where we can play games together. You guys can give me ideas. I can look at those ideas. I can tweak them into what I want. What I would love for the Cricket Dies game. If anybody watches it, is I painstakingly loaded up the English cricket app and I looked at every single team's fixtures. The last game that they played, I picked 14 teams. Somehow I managed to get Namibia in there and not Afghanistan. I don't know how I managed that, but it took me hours to do that. And when I realised, and this is no boycotting over that, what is happening with Afghanistan cricket and the Taliban and women is awful, but I'm not making this political, so I haven't done it for a political reason. It was completely an oversight, but I've looked at it and gone, I spent hours doing this. I am not changing it over now. So, but yeah, back to my point. So I got the 14 teams and I picked cricket teams because I wasn't going to come up with 14 teams and 14 teams worth of names. But what I would love is to build a community where people can make their own teams and enter them, and then I will play those teams in there, which I think is brilliant. I don't know if I play out this, if it happens to take off, which would be amazing. I play this out and then, I don't know, maybe the first 14 people to join the channel, they get to pick the teams, or God, it'd be amazing. But if this did take off, maybe make a Patreon, and if people pay £2 a month, they can pick the teams, or if enough people do it, every player can, or there can be multiple community members picking teams and naming teams in themselves. So it could be a team manager, and then put players in there, and they'd email me a team sheet, and then I'd go from there for that week. I don't know. Like, this is all hypothetical. I'm so excited to see where this goes. I never thought I'd get to the 5th episode of the podcast, recording a podcast for 5 weeks in a row. God, I never stick to anything. I'm useless. I mean, that was a bit depressing, but I am bad at sticking to things. And the fact that I've stuck to this for so long, and I am proud of what I've done. Like, as I said, the second episode of this was completely rushed, and I think I did 15 minutes worth of research before I made the second episode, talking about spilling the beans and spilling their tea and offsides. I was just grabbing at something, and I wanted to keep doing this. If I hadn't have recorded that second episode, I wouldn't have recorded any more of these. I don't think. I think I'd have gone, well, I've already skipped one, so what's the point? And I'm glad I made it, as much as I don't like it, because as I say, I'm enjoying this a hell of a lot. But anyway, I've had a long ramble here, and I'm sure you've all got lives to get to. I know that I do. But as always, if you've enjoyed and liked this, please comment and subscribe on Spotify at Falling Over the Words, on YouTube at Falling Over the Words, and follow and give us a follow on Twitch at Falling Over the Words Gaming, because annoyingly I couldn't just have Falling Over the Words. Follow me on Twitter, or X as they call it now, at Falling Over the Words. I started an Instagram. haven't posted anything on there, but there's an Instagram. That's Falling Over the Words. But yeah, thank you for listening this week, and I'll see you next week. TTFN.